Chapter 40 Sion's Self-Reflection. Before dawn, Sion had already settled into his horse stance and was practicing. Master said, focus on understanding and intent rather than form, sense the Ka and blood, mobilize the Ka and blood, and temper the skin. In ancient times, prodigies completed skin tempering in just 5 days. I still haven't sensed my Ku and blood, the gap is too large. Master said not to be impatient. The more impatient I am, the harder it is to sense the Ku and blood. Xu Yan focused his mind, concentrating on himself, carefully sensing his Ku and blood. A hint of white appeared on the horizon. As the sun was about to rise, Xi Yan, immersed in sensing his Ku and blood, suddenly felt a warm flow rising from his chest and abdomen, subtle and warm, seemingly flowing with his breath.
Qi and blood! I sense my Qi and blood!
At this moment, Xi Yan was overwhelmed with excitement. Calm down, calm down. I need to keep a peaceful mind and not let my thoughts get chaotic. Mobilize the Kai and blood to temper the skin. How do I mobilize the Kai and blood? Master didn't specify. Should I ask him?
No.
Master said it's about understanding and intent. I must grasp this moment's feeling. If I slack off, it will be difficult to sense the Kai and blood again. And if I have to ask Master how to mobilize the Kwa and blood, wouldn't that disappoint him? He might think my comprehension is poor. With these thoughts, Xu Yan immediately dismissed the idea of consulting Li Xuan. He continued to hold the horse stance, trying to mobilize the Ku and blood repeatedly, recalling Li Xuan's teachings about mobilizing the Ku and blood. His mind was entirely focused on himself, immersed in mobilizing the Ku and blood. His breathing changed unconsciously as he mobilized the Ku and blood. Gradually, a wisp of Ku and blood spread throughout his body. His skin slightly reddened, as if a warm current was refining his skin. Shouldn't this count as entering the skin tempering phase? Xian felt invigorated. He had finally sensed the Ku and blood and successfully mobilized it to temper his skin. Li Xuan yawned, completed his morning routine, and stepped outside to prepare breakfast. He was the only one left in the village, self-sufficient, which had long become a habit. As soon as he stepped out, he saw Xian practicing his horse stance. He couldn't help but twitch his mouth. This disciple was diligent, but unfortunately, hard work alone wouldn't suffice. The method of cultivation was something he had made up. It would be a miracle if anyone succeeded in cultivating it. I'll wait until he can't hold on any longer and comes to ask me. Then I can make up something to placate him. Li Xuan shook his head and turned to leave. Xian saw his master and felt excited, ready to tell him that he had sensed the Ku and blood. He had already entered the skin tempering phase. However, when he saw his master shaking his head, his heart sank. Is Master dissatisfied with? Of course, with Master's realm. How could he not see that I have already sensed the Ku and blood and entered the skin tempering phase? Master must think I'm too impatient, arrogant, and unable to settle down. After this round of self-reflection, Xian dropped the thought of telling Li Xuan about his progress in sensing the Ku and blood and entering the skin tempering phase. Taking a deep breath, he calmed his mind and continued to mobilize the Ku and blood to temper his skin. Master is inscrutable, able to see through my strengths and weaknesses at a glance. I mustn't be arrogant or complacent. Whatever my progress in cultivation, Master can see it at a glance. There's no need for me to speak up. Xian realized in his heart that Master could see how he was doing in his cultivation without needing to tell him. Li Xuan caught a chicken from the coop and prepared to continue stewing the 9-leaf yuanzi. This was a rare medicinal herb. After eating the 9-leaf yuan's chicken soup yesterday, he felt his body had become a bit stronger. He took out a knife and was about to kill the chicken. Suddenly, he paused. Wait a minute, I have a disciple! There's no reason for me, as the master, to serve the disciple. It should be the disciple serving the master. Since I've already tricked him once, and he is now my disciple, it's only reasonable for him to serve me as the master, right? With this thought, he carried the chicken in one hand and the knife in the other, walking towards Xian. Disciple, come here and kill this chicken. Add some 9-leaf yuanzi and stew it. Go prepare the meal. Xian ended his practice, took the chicken and knife from Li Xuan's hands, feeling a bit dazed. What, can't you cook? Li Xuan frowned when he saw him in a daze. Right, Xian is a rich kid, how could he possibly know how to cook? Even so, since he had taken him as a disciple, it would be unreasonable not to make good use of it. Disciple every action, every sitting, sleeping, and eating is part of cultivation. Although you haven't entered the door yet and are far from my realm, familiarizing yourself with it in advance will still benefit you. Li Xuan said seriously. Master, I will go now. Yan straightened his posture and responded respectfully. Master's realm is too high. It seems like mundane matters. But this is actually the demeanor of a true master.
The hidden state of a hermit!
The more he thought about it, the more he felt that Master was profound. He seemed ordinary, revealing no signs of any powerful abilities, yet this was the true demeanor of a hidden master. Xian went to cook. Li Xuan, feeling uneasy, watched him for a while and found that although Xu Yan was a bit clumsy in killing the chicken and cooking, under his guidance, the food he made shouldn't be inedible. So he relaxed and moved a chair the big tree at the door, lying back comfortably, waiting for the meal. Having a disciple to serve me, this kind of little life is really nice. With Xian's brain, it's unlikely he will uncover the truth in a short time, but I should still prepare a backup plan. After the meal, Xian returned to his cultivation. The speed of tempering the skin has increased. My Kui and blood have strengthened by at least 50%. At this rate, even though I can't complete the skin tempering in 5 days, finishing it within a month should be no problem. Xu Yan sensed that the speed of tempering his skin had greatly increased and was filled with excitement. Why has the skin tempering speed suddenly increased?
Could it be? He thought of the 9-leaf Yanxi chicken soup.
The 9-leaf Yanxi was a rare medicinal herb. It was the only treasure in the X family. If he weren't the sole descendant of the X family, deeply favored by his parents, he wouldn't have been able to obtain the 9-leaf Yuanzi as a gift for his master.
Master!
At that moment, Xian felt deeply moved. Master knows that the 9-leaf Yuanzi can aid my cultivation, so he took it out for me to stew chicken. I absolutely cannot let Master down. I must cultivate diligently and strive to enter the door as soon as possible. In this moment of self-reflection, Xian's respect for his master was like the sun and moon, feeling deeply touched. He mobilized his Kui and blood, continuously tempering his skin. As he kept tempering, Xian felt his body growing stronger. His Qi and blood became more vigorous, and his skin became resilient, as though he had indeed entered the threshold of skin tempering. I feel like my strength has more than doubled. This is just the beginning of skin tempering. How strong will I be when I reach the peak of skin tempering? I must enter the martial way within a year. Xian's gaze was resolute. The effect of this 9-leaf Yuanzi is too impressive. Why do I feel my strength has increased? Should I enjoy it all alone? Forget it. It was a gift from Xu Yan. Let's do it together.
One shouldn't be too selfish.
Li Xuan sensed the changes in his body and at one moment had the thought of monopolizing the 9-leaf Yuanzi. Ultimately, he wasn't selfish enough and dismissed the idea of keeping it all to himself. Chapter 5th of Mastering Skin Refinement. It has been over half a month since Li Xuan accepted Xu Yan as his disciple and taught him a made-up cultivation method. During this time, Li Xuan has enjoyed the most comfortable days since he crossed over. With a disciple attending to him, he doesn't have to cook, feed chickens, or farm. Every day, he either sleeps, strolls around the village, or lies leisurely on a chair. The 9-leaf Yuanzi herb is down to its last piece, and today it will be finished. Li Xuan marveled at how the 9-leaf Yuanzi lives up to its reputation as a rare medicinal herb. Its effects truly remarkable. Over the past half-month, he has clearly felt changes in his body. His spirits have improved, his vision is better, his body has grown stronger, and his strength has increased. Should I stew the 1,000-year-old ginseng tomorrow? Would that be too nourishing? Li Xuan muttered to himself while lying on the chair. The 1,000-year-old ginseng is different. Maybe I should keep it in reserve. He glanced to the side at Xian, who was practicing his horse stance, feeling a bit puzzled. It's been over half a month. How can he remain so calm? His patience and steadiness are commendable, but it's a pity he's not very bright. Well, it works to my advantage that he is so steady. But it's been over half a month, and he hasn't made any progress in cultivation, yet he doesn't have a single question. Li Xuan was quite surprised. I'll ask him during dinner if he has any questions, fulfilling my responsibility as a master. Let me think about how to make up a plausible story to fool him. Li Xuan pondered how to make up a reasonable story, how to comfort Xu Yan, and how to encourage him to keep going. I've finally mastered skin refinement. While cultivating, Xian felt a surge of energy and blood throughout his body, his skin tightening and then relaxing. At that moment, he sensed a significant improvement.
He had mastered skin refinement.
Master was right, you can't rush cultivation. You need to balance work and rest. Even though I spend time cooking, feeding chickens, farming, and even catching wild game for extra meals, it seems like my cultivation time is reduced. However, with this balance, mindset is completely different, and my cultivation speed is actually faster and easier.
Master's level is truly high.
Xian was filled with admiration. His master was indeed a hidden expert. Every word and small hint benefited him greatly. Looking at Lexuan lying on the chair, Xian's eyes revealed envy and longing. When will I reach master's level? Seemingly ordinary, seemingly plain, yet this is the true expert. Perhaps this is what master meant by returning to simplicity and being close to the Tao. I must not aim too high. I need to be grounded.
One day I will become as strong as master.
Xian encouraged himself while imagining. In less than 20 days, I've mastered skin refinement. I'm just a step away from perfection. In 3 to 5 days at most, I can complete skin refinement and start refining bones. Once I've completed skin refinement, I'll ask Master if there are any particularities about bone refinement. Master said that ancient prodigies completed skin refinement in 5 days. Although I'm not as fast, completing it in less than a month should still be acceptable, right? Xian checked the time. It was time to cook. He ended his practice and went to the chicken coop catch a chicken to stew with the 9-leaf yangzhe. 1 piece of 9-leaf yangzhe a day, and now there's only the last piece left. While killing the chicken, Xian suddenly had a thought. Master said that once skin refinement is complete, ordinary people won't be easily injured by knives or swords. Why not try it? I'll lightly scratch and see. Xian held a kitchen knife and lightly scratched his arm. Being a martial artist who had mastered skin refinement, he naturally wasn't an ordinary person, so he didn't use his energy and blood, nor did he exert much force. It was just the strength of an ordinary person. The blade slid across his arm, leaving only a shallow white mark that quickly returned to normal. Is this the defense of mastering skin refinement? Xian was thrilled. Although he hadn't used much force, he could easily gut a chicken with that stroke. A common person would have their flesh split, and the wound could reach the bone. Yet it couldn't leave even a tiny mark on his skin. Just as Master said, after skin refinement, ordinary swords can't harm you? Xian was filled with anticipation for refining bones and even organs. These past days, you've been able to stay calm and composed, which makes me very pleased as your teacher. Li Xuan carefully began to speak during the meal. Master, I understand. I will definitely avoid arrogance and impatience and remain calm and composed. Xian respectfully replied. Inwardly, he was glad he hadn't been hasty, leaving a good impression on his master. Xian seems calm and composed after cultivating for so long, but his heart must be anxious. I'll reassure him and encourage him to persevere. At this point, I must continue to deceive him. Leishan thought and then said, the path of cultivation focuses on perseverance, firm will, and steady progress. It's unwise to seek quick success, you must remember this.
Yes, Master.
I will definitely head your teachings. Xian nodded solemnly. Inwardly, he realized, I've mastered skin refinement. Master is surely worried that I'll rush into bone refinement without a solid foundation. Even if I perfect skin refinement, I must be steady before refining bones, not hasty, to avoid leaving a rash impression on Master. Xian reminded himself not to let his strength boost make him arrogant and complacent. Leishuan didn't know that Xian had already interpreted his words in his own way, nor did he know that Xian had not only sensed energy and blood, but had also mastered skin refinement. Seeing how attentive Xian was to his teachings, Leishuan felt relieved. This disciple is honest but not very smart. If he had met someone else, he might have been deceived into ruin. It's a pity I'm not a hidden master otherwise. Accepting such a respectful and sensible disciple would be a gratifying thing. Lixuan sighed inwardly. He then said, as your teacher, I know you must have accumulated some questions in your cultivation. I can answer them for you now. Xian's spirits lifted, showing excitement. Master knows I'm about to refine bones and must have questions. He first warns me not to be hasty and then offers to answer my questions, calming my anxious heart while helping me understand bone refinement. The more he thought, the more he felt each of Master's words was filled with deep meaning, teaching him. Master, I have no questions about skin refinement. I want to ask about bone refinement. When energy and blood seep into and temper the bones, is there anything particular to note? To what extent must bone refinement reach to be considered complete? Xian asked his questions about bone refinement, leaving Lixuan momentarily stunned. He had only prepared stories about sensing energy in blood and skin refinement to fool him. He hadn't expected Suyan to ask about bone refinement, and he hadn't prepared any stories for that.